Hey guys, me David, and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars set review. And today, well, we have quite an interesting one, which is Jango Fett's Starship. Now, just a few months ago, we got a Ultimate Collector Series version of this set, and yet now we have a playset that's available for $70. It's going to have 707 pieces. The set number is 75433, and this set will launch on August 1st of 2025 with all the other LEGO Star Wars Summer sets. Make sure you check out all the other reviews. But this is such an oddity. This has never happened to my knowledge, except for maybe the Millennium Falcon, where you have both the playset and the UCS set on sale at the same time, so closely launching next to each other as well. Like, this is such an oddity, and it's strange, and it frustrates me. It frustrates me because 4 years ago, we got the Ultimate Collector Series Republic Gunship, and I thought the rule generally was you couldn't have a UCS set and a playset on sale at the same time because they would eat into each other's sales. And clearly, that's not the case anymore, and so that makes it even more frustrating that we should have gotten a normal Republic gunship by now. I also had thought that was the reason why we got the Coruscant Guard gunship, is because, we just had that UCS normal version of the gunship that, I had to change it up because of that, but clearly, again, that's not the case. All right, that's my little rant. Back to Jango Fett's Starship. $70, 707 pieces. This is actually one of the best price per piece ratios out of this summer wave. A lot of these sets, the majority of these sets are overpriced. This, alongside with the V19, are the most reasonably priced for what you're getting value-wise and piece-wise out of this. We are getting 3 minifigures here. We're getting the same Boba Fett that came in the UCS set. We're getting a slightly modified version of Jango. The difference here is that there's no arm printing, which brings up the controversy of should the same Jango Fett minifigure be in the UCS set as this playset? Should you get a more valuable or higher end figure with the arm printing per se in the UCS set? Should you get an exclusive figure in that set? And this controversy really stemmed from the Venator UCS set, where Captain Rex came in a $10 set, even though it was exclusive in the Venator. My personal opinion on this whole controversy is LEGO will never please everybody. You'll never please the fans that want that exclusive high-end minifigure in the UCS set, and you'll never please fans that want that same high-end minifigure in the cheapest set. There's no right answer to this. And so ultimately, this is what LEGO has done here. Remove the arm printing. Ultimately, the Jango Fett minifigure is still going to be a good one, just without arm printing, in my opinion. And then we have the highlight of this set for me personally. It's Lama Su, the Kaminoan minifigure, the Prime Minister of Kamino, which we see in Episode 2, as well as a lot in the Bad Batch as well, and the Clone Wars show. That is a figure I never thought we would get. And then we still have the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter as well with the other Kaminoan, and the fact that you can have 2 Kaminoans at the same time, it's dreams coming true for me. This is an awesome looking set. It does have to be said, though, that this is just a recolored version of the Boba Fett Starship that we got just a few years back, and that was $50. And you're basically paying $20 more now. And at least you're getting good minifigures, I suppose. Still, it's just crazy with modern day LEGO Star Wars pricing. It's just so frustrating. There is a little seismic charge here, which is using a minifigure head. Maybe a hallmark back to the last time that we got a playset version of Jango Fett's Starship, or the Slave one, really, which was all the way back in 2002. So I think that's really cool, actually. Does seem like you can fit both minifigures, Boba and Jango, inside the interior. I'm looking forward to seeing how squished it is in there. There is some functionality here. There's a little stand that also acts as a little transporter as well. We love that from LEGO Star Wars. If you played the video games, you know what I'm talking about. Overall, this looks like a pretty promising, just solid LEGO Star Wars set, so I can't wait to get into it. I do want to thank LEGO for sending this set over for review, and let's see what this Jango Fett Starship, or the Slave one, offers. So while I don't have the video clip showing the sticker sheet, I can tell you that there is still 5 stickers. Unfortunately, as badly as I would love to tell you that there's all printed pieces in this set, that unfortunately just isn't the case. But the set is pretty good. It's literally a carbon copy of the Boba Fett Starship that we got a few years back. But let's talk about the minifigures first, starting with young Boba Fett. This is the exact same minifigure that you get in the Ultimate Collector Series version of this set, and there's no differences here. And I really wish LEGO still went with the dual molded legs. So here's some painted legs that you can get with the link down in the description, and gives you an example of what could have been. On to Jango Fett here, he has dual pistols and notably doesn't have arm printing. This is a bit of a controversy within the community. Otherwise, from the arm printing, there is no differences between this Jango and the other Jango from the UCS set. Same face print, same torso print, same leg print. Everything's the same except that there is an arm printing. So overall, it's still a great minifigure, and it's really up to you whether that arm printing is just that important or not to you. Regardless, no matter what LEGO does here, they're not going to appease all fans. Finally, we have Lamasu, a highly sought after Kaminoan minifigure that I personally never thought we'd see the day where this figure actually pops up in a LEGO set. This is so incredibly cool. Kind of a niche character, though if you watch The Bad Batch, you'll know how important he was. And he does show up, of course, in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and briefly in the Clone Wars. And so now having two Kaminoans available at the same time is just incredibly cool to me. Now, how about Jango's Starship, the playset version? How does it compare to the UCS version? Well, we'll get to that in just a few minutes, but this playset version, it's pretty good. I really don't have too many complaints, though I do have to say, it's exactly like the Boba Fett Starfighter, like stud for stud exactly. Like, it's crazy. We'll compare the two in a second, but overall, I mean, it looks good. The details are there. There is some sticker usage, which I'm not excited about. And yes, we do have the return of the speeder, the little transporter. If you're a LEGO Star Wars video game fan, you'll totally understand the inside joke here. And I just love that we can have our Kaminoan driving this thing around, towing around Jango's Starship. Now, on the speeder, there is actually some storage, so you can put some extra studs in here from the stud launchers. And there's actually some clips here meant for Jango's pistol. So I really like that extra thought that went into this little fun inclusion. Now, the speeder does have this part that lifts up, and that's what actually makes it into a stand for Jango Fett Starship. And yes, you can just pull this thing around. It literally feels like I'm playing the LEGO Star Wars video games right now. This is just absolutely wonderful. What a great inclusion, and no complaints here from me. As for the back of the Starfighter, there's actually some decent greebling for a playset at this scale and price tag. There's some translucent yellow for the engines, and most importantly, there is actually a grab handle, unlike another much more pricey LEGO Star Wars set. And the grab handle works perfectly. You can swoosh around the set and have a blast swooshing it around your room. There's stud launchers on the bottom. I do wish these were just normal brick-built blasters or cannons, so that way at least they can articulate around. I'm not a fan of the stud launchers, but you can modify that yourself if that's something you want to do. The wings on the side do fully turn 360 degrees. They just move by gravity, just like the UCS version. And then next we have the seismic charge feature, which was a nice inclusion. There's these little minifigure heads with some studs on each side, and simply by putting it in this compartment and then pushing up on this slope piece as you're moving around the Starship, it just pops on out. It's actually really simple, but totally works. Finally, we have the cockpit, which obviously just opens like so, but what's interesting about this cockpit compared to the Boba Fett version is that you can actually fit two minifigures in here, surprisingly. Both Boba Fett, which just lies straight flat down, no studs connecting him, fits with Jango, and Jango just literally fits right on top of him with the jetpack on impressively, and you can close it without any issue. That's pretty impressive given how tight of a space this really is. Overall, I love the fact that there is a spot for every single minifigure included in this set. Now, what about that Boba Fett Starship that we got just a couple years ago? Like I mentioned, it is exactly the same set, like stud for stud in a lot of ways. There is some differences both on the interior and functionality. In fact, I would say there's improvements to this set with the new seismic charge function, the fact you can fit more than one figure on the inside, so that's nice. But otherwise, it's almost identical in design in every way. Even the layout here underneath is exactly the same. It's kind of crazy. It almost feels like deja vu. Now, you could definitely make the argument that Boba Fett Starship is the better value. It retailed for $50, but it also only came with 2 minifigures versus this new Jango's version comes with 3 minifigures and has more features too. Moving on to the Ultimate Collector Series version, well, you can see that price difference. We're looking at $70 versus $300. That is an incredibly big difference. And you kind of feel it within the two models. Like, one is pretty tiny and the other is absolutely massive. So I feel like both are actually priced appropriately for the most part. They feel their value. I feel like you're getting $300 worth with the UCS set, and I feel like you're almost getting $70 with the Playscale set. I feel like it's more like $60 if I'm being completely honest here. But they both look really good side by side, and you can actually see that LEGO really paid attention to those details and pretty much nailed them on this little tiny version of the set. But given the massive size difference here, it makes sense why this set exists. So I've got to give LEGO credit. They were able to get both Boba and Jango in that cockpit. Add a very cool play function, being the seismic charge, comparative to the Boba Fett Starship, or the Boba Fett's Slave 1 that we got a few years ago in 2021, I believe. And I gotta say, it's pretty much the same exact model, but with more features, and still maintains the exact same build quality. And it's 700 plus pieces, retailing for $70. So technically speaking, this is a fair, even good value per se, especially when you're looking at the rest of the LEGO Star Wars lineup this summer. In my opinion, though, this still feels like less than $70. I mean, it feels closer to, like, I guess between 50 to 60. So not incredibly off its price tag, especially when you compare it to some other sets. I'm looking at you, 327th Battle Pack and Republic Juggernaut. And I'm happy to see that LEGO kept the grab handle, unlike another set. But regardless, I am happy with this set. It's not bad. It's not my favorite of the wave. I think that's going to go to the MTT and the V19. But this Lama Su, that's a fantastic minifigure. It is the sole reason, in my opinion, to now pick up this set if you have the UCS version of this. Personally speaking, I would rather save up for the UCS set. I think the $300 UCS Jango Starship is just significantly better. Even with functionality, there's some really cool features within the cockpit. Like, I really enjoy that. Oh, this one does have the leg up with an actual seismic charge being able to drop out of it, unlike the UCS set. But I do think there is a good reason for this playset to exist alongside the UCS Jango Starship. Maybe you don't have the space for the UCS set. Obviously, money's a factor. And then also you're getting a technically better minifigure here with Lama Su. You're not getting that in the UCS set, but you are also getting ARM-printed Jango in that set. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want more, an ARM-printed Jango or a really awesome Kaminoan? I mean, that's actually a pretty hard choice, because I don't know what I would even choose, because I really like Lama Su from this set. I don't know if I would go for the ARM-printed Jango. I think I'd actually go for the Kaminoan, and I think that says a lot right there. Really, it's all good news here with this set, other than the ARM printing on Jango. That's a bit of a controversy. Like I mentioned at the beginning, there's just no way to please all the fans with this decision. So finally, should you go out and buy this set day one? I mean, it's not a bad price per se. I do think you should still wait until like $55. I think that's about the appropriate price to pick this one up. If you have the UCS one and you're eyeing this set, definitely wait until there's a sale. I don't really see any immediate urge to get this when you have such a beautiful model. Now, if you don't have the UCS set and this is looking appealing to you, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So that's my thoughts on this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to pick up Jango Fett Starship when it comes out on August 1st. It's affiliated and helps out the channel. Thanks to LEGO for sending this set over for review. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.